Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another episode of Kipao Media. I'm your host, Douglas Ibole. Let's get into it. We recently heard about a name being floated of a likely presidential candidate for 2027. And this name is a familiar name. It's a name that has been there in the political scene ever since I was a child. Ever since I was in primary school, ever since I was in secondary school, ever since I was in university, and now I'm a grown man who has raised my family, and still that name is in the political scene. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the one and only Kalonzo Musyoka. His name is being forwarded to the Kenyan populace and the Kenyan citizenship, or rather the Kenyan electorate, as a possible presidential candidate and a possible best option to win in 2027 general election. And this leaves me with a very serious question. What is the criteria that Kenyans are using to elect their presidents? What are the values that Kenyans are actually holding dear when it comes to electing these leaders? What is the ideology that Kenyans are following, that the leaders have proved that it works and is beneficial to them over 20, 30, 40 decades in government? The reason why I am very skeptical and very disappointed with the candidacy, or rather the name of Kalonzo Musyoka being floated as a possible presidential candidate who is the best option, is that Kalonzo Musyoka has been in government since the Moi era. He's no different from Musalia Mudavadi, somebody who has been sort of being handed positions here and there, left and right, all the time, without so much effort. These are like little princes who are guaranteed seats in government regardless of what they do, what they achieve, or what they deliver. It's sort of like a given. Kalonzo Musyoka has been in government for a very long time, since the Moi era. And up to date, we have not seen any significant development record, any significant push for democracy, any significant push for development for his own people where he's from, any significant push to actually give a vision that can actually push this country forward and actually bring a change that is deserved, and a track record to show that is the case. We often hear him being termed as watermelon, which is a term that he actually managed to get because he never had a stand on anything. He never seemed to have an ideology that stands on its own. He never seems to have a stand that focuses on one particular thing. He never seems to be steady regardless of the political weather, and be able to actually forge a way forward with his own party, with his own ideology, and actually being steadfast to actually make sure this works. So the whole idea of him becoming a presidential candidate and a possible best candidate out of all the Kenyans that we have who are well qualified, it's not only an insult, it's actually something to really discuss as to what do Kenyans really look at when it comes to leadership. And just to touch on something that I think is something that Kenyans really understand, and Kenyans have always used this term, or rather are familiar with this term. There was a time, that there was this term that was used, that KANU will rule for the next 100 years. And when this term was actually uttered by whoever uttered it, it seemed absurd. It seemed unusual. It seemed something like will never happen. But we all know all the presidents that we've had in this country after President Moi have all been KANU babies, KANU orphans, KANU politicians. After Moi, we had Kibaki. Kibaki was in KANU. Moi was in KANU. Then we had Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru was in KANU. Then now we have the current president, William Ruto, who is also a KANU baby. And who's next online that is being termed as the best option? Kalonzo Musyoka, also a KANU baby, or should we say a KANU orphan. So it really beats my mind, and I'm really trying to find some divine intervention to really understand what is it that Kenyans value and what is it that they look at when it comes to leadership. Do they look at the track record? Do they look at the politician? Do they look at ideology? What do they look at? Or is it always a tribal arithmetic and popularity contest? These are very serious issues. We are lagging behind. 60 years of development has been sabotaged through corruption, tribalism, and a lack of focus and a lack of vision with our leadership, and it's getting worse. So my question to you Kenyans is, what values are you holding dear that will guarantee that we elect the best leaders in this country and we have a vision and an ideology that can actually push us to the next 100 years to be successful and actually give the future generation a better country, not a divided, destroyed country. This is Kipao Media, and I'm your host, Douglas Ibole. Please share your comments, views, opinions on the comment section, and let's engage. Am I touching on a subject that makes sense? Am I missing out on something? Please let me know as we exchange. See you later.